Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Rock Your Comeback podcast. I'm your host, Nichole Eaton, and I just want to say thank you for listening to this show. This show has grown immensely over the last few months, partially due to coming on with the Radcast Network, and I'm so grateful that these episodes are reaching more and more people. I pour my heart and my soul into these episodes, and to see, some of the episodes at 50 and 60,000 downloads is tremendous, and it feels so fucking good. If you are listening and you haven't hit that subscribe yet, please do. It really does help the show. And as always, if you love this episode, if it feels really good to you, share it on social media, share it with a friend, or leave a really great review. That is always helpful for me to keep these podcasts going because I love giving you guys free content. But today we are talking about how to step into your hot girl era. And I'm not talking about like just posting your, pretty pictures on lines of your beautiful face, right? I'm talking about an embodiment of your hot girl era. And what better time than in the 99 degrees it was today here in South Carolina? So, like, first off, like, let's get one thing straight. Hot girl energy has nothing to do with how you look. It doesn't. You do not have to be the most beautiful person in any room. It doesn't matter. It is about the energy that you bring to the room and the mindset behind creating and cultivating that energy. So, it's not about being perfect. It's not about being polished. And it's not about being pretty all the time. It's like you walking into a room like you belong there. It's about you setting boundaries in your life. It's about you trusting your intuition and validating yourself so hard that other people's opinions doesn't matter. So today's episode, I'm going to give you solid mindset shifts to activate the boldest, most magnetic version of yourself, the youiest you, the one who doesn't shrink, the one who doesn't chase, the one who doesn't play small. So if you've been feeling like you feel a little dimmed or invisible or even stuck, this is we're turning up the volume today, okay? Because your hot girl era starts right now. And first things first, right? The biggest thing that I want you to think about as a we're deciding, okay? Number 1, we're deciding this is your hot girl era. We're deciding. There is something to be said about making a decision about who you are in the world and how people get to respond to you. And when we start to decide that the world is working in our favor, when we are starting to decide that we belong in every single room we walk into, when we are starting to decide that people positively respond to us, and if they don't, it has nothing to do with us. It puts us in a different frequency. And the reality is that you could be the most breathtaking person on earth, but if you are riddled with insecurities, other people are going to feel that. If you are anticipating people don't like you before they even meet you, they are going to feel that. So part of hot girl energy is about rewriting these inner stories that you are worth knowing, deciding that you are worth knowing, deciding that people, of course, they love you. All the right people love you. Of course they do. That you bring a lot to the table. The reality is this is not about physical traits. This is about how you carry yourself. This is about how you allow yourself to be magnetic because you are showing up with the utmost confidence and the utmost self assurance. Now, I'm a big person on confidence and developing confidence. I talk about this a lot. And the reality is that you have to be the person that you're telling yourself you are. So I'm all for positive affirmations, right? I'm all for hyping yourself up. If you could hear me in my car on a way to a speaking event, I am talking myself up. I am shouting from the rooftops how freaking great this is going to be, how I'm the right person for the job, how my mind just knows the right things to say, that I'm having all these divine interactions. All the people who are a good fit for me professionally or personally are drawn to me. They're drawn to me. And I sit there and I decide, because there are times where I walk into a speaking event and I've had a fight with my kids at home, right? Or I've had just a day where I felt more insecure, or I woke up and I didn't get much sleep last night and I'm feeling scattered. And so anytime I walk into a room, I decide a new story about myself and I will audibly say it out loud in the car. So this is a practice you can do is you can start to hype yourself up before you go into a date, before you go into a job interview, before you go into a room. I know for me, I've always had a little bit of social anxiety. So walking into like a restaurant or bar alone always gives me a little anxiety. And my go-to instinct is to, look at my phone as I'm walking in or wait for my friend in the car before they get there. And so I've had to push myself a little bit to break through some of those anxieties to put myself in situations that feel uncomfortable and be okay with it. Hold my head high, make eye contact, smile, talk to the person next to me. So, part of building confidence is hyping yourself up. And part of building confidence is allowing yourself to know that even if you're uncomfortable, that you're going to be okay. To be intentional about the actions you're doing when you walk in a room, because that matters. That's self assurance. When we can become the person we say we are, that makes the confidence 10 times deeper than just that little hype up before and after something. But you can always self talk your way into, like I said, a date, a job interview, walking into a room of new people. I know for me, networking feels like that. Even if I'm not speaking, I actually prefer speaking because I feel like people automatically like want to talk to me or respect me or want to relate to me in some way. And it's harder for me to walk into a room and just kind of free shoot and small talk. And so that's something that I've had to actively push myself and work on. But getting uncomfortable and proving yourself wrong that, hey, you can survive even if you're uncomfortable, that helps you build confidence and that self assurance will radiate from you. So think of it in a way of just getting into your space, talking to yourself, and then proving yourself wrong that it's not that scary, that you can do it. Okay. So the other thing that hot girls do is they protect their peace. Hot girls don't let people walk all over them, and they don't have to be mean about it. They can be loving and kind, but they can turn down an invitation. They can say, "No, I'm so sorry, I can't help you move this weekend," or "No, I'm so sorry, I'm really not able to watch your dog this weekend." Like setting a boundary of, "Hey, it's not okay for you to treat me like that," and being genuine. I think, there's a common trait of people who let other people treat them poorly, right? You can feel the energy of people who let other because they're drained, they're tired. Hot girls aren't as tired because they don't put up with bullshit. They are easily able to lovingly and warmly lock the gate to their energy. They can say, "This does not work for me anymore. I value myself and I choose myself over what little breadcrumbs you're bringing to the table." So protecting your peace is going to help you radiate more full energy. Because think of it like this: like let's say you have 5 cookies, and this is representative of your energy, right? And if you give all your cookies away, you don't have any fucking cookies. You're gonna be hungry, and everyone's gonna start to notice that you're hungry because you gave your cookies away and you didn't get any back. You didn't get any cookies back. No one was giving cookies back. So if I decide like, hey, I want my cookies back, now I've got 5 cookies. But I'm the only person who can decide who has my cookies, if it's other people or if it's me. And so you have to be willing to look at the people and the situations that are draining you. You have to be willing to look at what you want out of relationships and what you want out of your experience in this world and how you want to feel more often than not. And I'm saying this, and some people go really black and white with boundaries, and they think it's more like, I am so selfish and I only do things for myself. The reality is I am giving, I am stretching, I'm doing this all the time. It's when it starts to take away from my person and I go into burnout that I have to set the boundary. So it doesn't have to be this cold black and white thing. It can be that I am helping a lot. I volunteer a lot of time. I really love that. That's something really important to me. I spend a lot of time with my friends or kids and would love to go support everybody I can with their business ventures. And when it's time for me to rest, I'm really honoring of that because I know my body needs that in order to be full of energy, in order to have that radiant energy that other people can feel that would deem me magnetic, right? The other thing about being a hot girl is that you can have all sides of you. I am very feminine. If you see me, I am a true Cancerian. I wear flowy floral dresses all summer long, sometimes all winter long. I love a ruffle. I love, like girly girl things. And I'm very masculine in my directness of my energy. I can be very, let's get shit done. I'm getting this done. So part of being a hot girl is honoring both sides of you and knowing when you need to balance that out, knowing when you need to step back into that masculine energy because you've been in too much flow, or knowing when you can let go of some of that hustle culture mindset and drop back into that softer energy. So you don't have to choose between being soft and being ambitious. A feminine energy is just as powerful as a masculine one. So honoring all sides of you, all different parts of your personality, whether it's just being silly and goofy or being serious and introspective and spiritual even. And the hot girl doesn't chase, she chooses. She does not need to prove to anybody. She does not need to convince anybody, and she does not need to overgive to have somebody validate her value. The hot girl knows her value and she acts accordingly. She is the person who chooses, not expects, like when she walks into a room, how do people feel about me, but how do I feel about them? Being the chooser in the situation creates, like, when you're chasing something, that's like a desperation energy, right? When I'm trying to get something and I'm not getting there and I'm trying to put my all into something that's not giving it back to me, that is not hot girl energy. That's depleted energy. When you know your value, you're willing to let things go. And I think one of the most powerful things a hot girl can do is know that you're fine if other people aren't coming along. You're fine if that person doesn't want to. You're fine if you lose the job. You're fine. Like, you're okay no matter what. Like, you know you've got you and you know you're choosing you at all times. So I think that choosing yourself and not chasing actually makes you a magnet for fucking miracles, because it's a willingness to play hardball a little bit, right? Like, I'm okay. This is what I want. And I'm okay if you're not the person to give it to me because I know somebody else will. I know another job will. I know another school will offer me that. It's an inner knowing that I don't have to chase what I want. I can attract it. And I can choose myself in the process so that I'm not putting up with shit. Another thing a hot girl does is she moves like she already has what she wants. There is something about embodying the energy of becoming. It's about knowing that the thing that is in your heart, the thing that is on your soul, the thing that is really, really important to you, it's already yours. It's in there because it's already yours, not because you hope or you wish or maybe someday or maybe somebody will hand it to you. It's a knowing that the universe is on your side. The universe is conspiring in your favor. There is something really incredible about embodying the aligned energy and the way it draws things in. You attract when you show up like it's already yours. It's already a done deal. There is massive power in manifesting from the end. If you ever have taken a class with me, if you're on the Comeback Club, my online membership space, I have a ton of classes, and a lot of them on manifestation. I talk about you you say thank you as though it's already occurred. You say thank you as though this is a done deal. Of course, this is who you are. Of course, this is how you act. Of course. So your job is to move like it's already yours. Like you already have it. And how would you approach the world differently if it was already yours? How would you approach a job interview differently if it was already yours? You would have ease, you would have calm, you would have confidence, you would have certainty, and you would have trust in the universe, right? That if it's not the right thing, that if it is not yours, if this is not the opportunity for you, there's a better one coming. And so you wouldn't have to stress and you wouldn't have to freak out about it and you wouldn't have to get all worked up before and after. You could just allow it to be the experience that you're having, knowing that if it is the right one, it will for sure lock in, and knowing it if it is not the right one, a better one is coming. How would you act? How would you dress? How would you think? What would you wear? What would you do if it was already a done deal? That is the power of a hot girl energy. That is the power of a hot girl mindset. The hot girl does not need permission to take up space. She is absolutely fine owning a room, not apologizing for being too loud or saying what she thinks or even being too successful. I think that a lot of times empaths are taught to shrink to create space for other people. I noticed myself a couple years ago, and I actually originally wanted to write one of my books or a chapter in one of my books about taking up space because I found myself like just trying to rush through things, like even the grocery store line, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, let me get out of your way. Like, and at some point I was like, why am I not allowed to be in the checkout line and take a minute to put my stuff up properly? What feels rushed in me, and why don't I feel like I deserve to take up space in this area? And so I would ask you that, right? Is that people may feel intimidated by you. People may feel a little uncomfortable as you grow, as you expand, as you improve your success, but that is not your problem. When we step into our fullness, it triggers other people who are not full yet. And sometimes it inspires them to become more like that. I'm reading Daisy Jones and the Six, and the way they describe Daisy Jones outside of the drug addiction is this magnetism, this quality, and this expansion, right? And she's either people either love her or they hate her because she's either inspiring them and they want to be near this light, or they're triggering something in, that the way that things happen for her comes effortlessly, and it's triggering something in the people who aren't there yet and aren't ready to be there. So your job is to step into your fullness without shrinking. And again, as empaths, sometimes we shrink because it was easier, because we had parent issues at home. And if we were quiet, we weren't going to get in trouble. If we were quiet, we weren't going to disrupt somebody who maybe was an alcoholic or somebody who was reactive or whatever the case might be. That shrinking a lot of times for a lot of people was a safety mechanism and a coping skill. And so we might need to just remind that little part inside of us that, like, hey, it's okay to take up space. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to exist in this world. You deserve to exist in this world. That is an energy of its own. And sometimes we do have to dig a little deeper to see where it came from because otherwise we're operating on autopilot. And if we're doing the same behaviors without realizing it, like I said, walking into a room, looking at your phone, beelining to the bar, having socialized with like a drink in your hand to feel comfortable. All of those things are part of shrinking. All of those things are a part of not feeling okay to take up space as you are, like without anything else. So this is your permission slip. This is your permission slip to take up space. And this is your permission slip that it's okay to be opinionated. The right people will align with you. It's okay to be successful. The right people will align with you. And the hot girl knows that the right people always come when she's herself, which leads me to my last and final thought. The hot girl isn't perfect. She's powerful because she's real. Our authenticity, and there is a Spain scale of human emotion. There's a study and there's a frequency. What is the most powerful frequency in the world? And if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, I would have said, "Ooh, love, obviously." But it's not. It's authenticity. That is the energy that people feel the most, which is why you have like so many people who are famous who are just kind of like different, right? Like Steve Jobs or Lady Gaga or I don't know, even Taylor Swift, right? Like all of these people who we can just feel their energy. When you are yourself, it radiates so far out of your body that other people can feel it. And when we can feel other people's energy, we feel safer. When we can feel other people's energy, we feel safer because we can read it. We know where they're at because it's clear. I've been watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I was out in Utah and did some hikes. And I was like, what are we going to do for the rest of the night? Well, we're in Utah. We have to watch this show. And there's a girl on there, Taylor, and she's just herself. Messy, good, bad, ugly, wonderful. Like she is totally fine. And I'm just like amused by her because she just owns it. And even if it's hot mess, she just owns it. And so this is a reminder that you don't have to be perfect or polished to be magnetic and to be the hot girl in the room. You just have to be yourself. And you have to be willing to show up as yourself And you have to be willing to be real about wherever you at, because here's the thing. When we're telling people like, "Oh my God, everything's so amazing," but we're not actually amazing, everybody can feel the dissonance. People are like, something's off about that girl. Like, I don't know. I feel like she's saying one thing, but it feels another way. I actually had an experience a couple years ago, and I took a friend to an event, and there was a girl speaking, and my friend doesn't talk about energy as much as I do, and as rapidly and frequently as I do, but she goes, "Why do I feel like she's saying nice things, but it doesn't feel nice?" And I was like, "Well, that's dissonance in energy, right? When you're saying something but feeling a different way, you're gonna have that feeling, and that frequency that radiates that tells people that. Whether they can pick up what that is or not, they're gonna notice something's off. So the more real you can be, the more honest you can be, the more raw you can be, the more you're drawing people in, and that's what makes you hot. So I hope that this was helpful. I know this was just a little overview, and I I just love talking about this because I think that owning your energy is one of the most underrated ways we can glow up in our life. And you can tell in pictures when people are owning their energy and when they're not. And so this is just a reminder that it's safe to take up space, it's safe to own your energy, and it's safe to step into your power. Coming up in July, we have the Manifesting Relationships Masterclass, and the last Friday of the month. You can join right now for $0. So jump in. The link is in the bio, and I have officially opened my one-on-one coaching spots for the month of August. I'm not taking anybody new until August. So if you want to get it in August, I have a couple spots, and you can get on my wait list when I open that up. But again, share, like, subscribe, leave a review if you have it in you. It would mean a whole lot to me. And let me know what kind of things you guys want me to talk about. This actually came from a reel, and I was like, do you guys want this to be a whole podcast episode? So if you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, because that's amazing and that's helpful. And then we can chat back and forth. All right, guys, I will catch you later. Bye.